Game on his face. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Panzo tonight coming off the bench for Iona. It's a whiteout inside of the Heinz Center. Opening possession to the visitors in blue of Hofstra. Pride 5-2, winners of 4 straight. They won the Gulf Coast Showcase as Jaco Fritz looks for an opening slam. D-Stone Dubar cannot follow it up. And the rebound is down to Greg Gordon. Iona using its third different starting lineup in as many games. Panzo out, and the freshman Gene Aranguren gets the nod in the starting 5.
So it's a different starting lineup for Iona. However, they're going to play the same way. A lot of pressure early in the contest and try to run the ball up the floor. Bryce
Washington, the UPenn transfer, finds Thomas in the corner. Joel Brown on him for now as Dubar fires away from deep, and it's cleared by Adewale. Idon Tretu came off the bench last time out, has reclaimed a spot in the starting 5 tonight. Greg Gordon to Tretu, down to 14 to shoot. Brown with 6. The floater off the back of the iron, no. It remains scoreless as the Canisius transfer, a familiar face in Jaco Fritz, grabs the rebound.
Slow start thus far for both teams.
And that ends right there on cue. I think he's going to earn Mr. status at some point, but for right now, he's Tyler Thomas.
Well, he comes in with that status, being the leading scorer in the country, and he's not shy at all, and it showed in his first shot, putting it up deep from 3.
Adewale watched by Fritz. Spinning against Fritz. Rebound is down to the Pride with the 3-0 lead. Jaquan Carlos is the junior guard out of Brooklyn, leading the team in assists with nearly 7 per contest. Dubar from deep. Fritz, another offensive rebound. Thomas not shy with that attempt as Fritz again claims another possession for the Pride.
Well, Fritz, the big fellow, is making himself known right away inside. 3 rebounds already in 1 possession. He's not only big and tall, he's very athletic as well. So look for him to try to continue to dominate under the boards.
Idon Tretu picks up the foul. Ryan Corbett, Mike McCloskey, and Scott Gooden, our officiating crew tonight. Iona still looking for its first point, nearly 3 minutes in. Depth could play a factor in this one. Hofstra comes in shorthanded with only 7 part of their main rotation. They usually have an 8th in German Plotnikov, but he does not dress tonight. Tretu to the rim, no. Adewale keeps it alive. Had a couple of chances at it. Here's a third opportunity. Fritz walled up. Adewale patiently gets around Fritz for Iona's first points.
Well, that tricky up and under move, Adewale does that very, very well. For an undersized center, he does a very good job getting to the basket.
Off the make, pressure from Iona. Aranguren stepped on the sideline. It's a turnover to Hofstra.
So both teams are feeling each other out right now, although they're missing shots and, a little tentative with the basketball going to the basket. Look for both of them to heat up and really get this thing going here.
Weza Panzo, along with the talented freshman Jeremiah Quigley, entering the Iona lineup, taking the places of Joel Brown and Gene Aranguren. So backcourt swap. Here is Thomas on the back down, trying to take advantage of the shorter freshman. Fritz nearly had another offensive rebound as it glanced off his hand. Tretu, catch and shoot. Too strong. Gordon try to keep it alive on the weak side. Pride will have it. Dylan Saunders checking in for Adewale. Osborne Shema missing his 9th game, although noticeable progress as he went through a warm-up prior to tonight's game with a brace on his right knee. Still targeting, hopefully, a return by the end of the month, but being fully healthy by the start of MAC play.
He would be a welcomed addition here with his skills, his size, and his rim protection.
Thomas with 3 to shoot, fading away off the front of the rim, and the rebound is collected by Greg Gordon, the junior JUCO transfer. Dubar defending, now Panzo. Into Gordon on the back down, offensive foul. Into the body of Jaquan Carlos, and the junior draws the charge, bringing us next year.
Very special moment coming on the 7th of January. You know, I had a chance to play for Coach Valvano, and it was just a real joy, and I'm so happy for him and his family that Iona University, along with the Hall of Fame, has recognized him. So, congratulations.
What was it like playing for Jimmy V?
Well, Coach Valvano was just a lot of fun to play for. First of all, he wasn't much older than us, so it was like playing for your big brother. He let us play, really allowed us to, exploit our skills, and when he needed to, he got on us. So, but he was a lot of fun, and he really made sure that we did everything we could to be winners.
Stays with Hofstra after they couldn't collect the offensive rebound. It was knocked out by Iona. I'm sure it never gets old, or at least I would anticipate it doesn't, as Thomas misses. Talking about that upset over Louisville, anything stand out about that night as Thomas drills the 3, specific to Coach Valvano?
Well, he told us all along we were going to play the 9 o'clock game against one of the best teams in the country, and everyone but us was going to expect it to be an upset, so we didn't feel it was an upset, and we were just thrilled to be in that spotlight.
Trey 2 couldn't make it through traffic as the foul is called against the Gales in the backcourt. Gordon picks up his 2nd foul.
Yeah, Trey 2 is really starting to try to assert himself. He does love this gym. He can really shoot the ball in this gym, and I expect that he's going to try to do that. And that time he just missed an easy run going to the basket.
Hofstra shooting 2 of 13, Iona 1 of 9. Fritz wide open underneath, a blown assignment and an easy dunk.
Yeah, Coach Anderson and I talked about that before the game, that although they're going to apply a lot of pressure, they don't want to give up those types of easy buckets. As you know, the big fellas doesn't really like to shoot the ball much, but when you get an easy dunk like that, why not?
Aaron Gurin back in the game in an all-freshman backcourt with Quigley, who trips and loses it to Dubar. And then he lost it on the baseline.
Good effort. Iona's going to have to protect the basketball. New lineup in the game here, trying to get loose and get Iona on track a little bit. A slow start again for Iona.
Hofstra rolling with their starting 5. Iona's got Isaac Bryce, Panzo, Quigley, Aaron Gurin, and Saunders. Bryce got it from the corner. It's a triple. It's 4 youngsters with Panzo out there. Aaron Gurin, the steal. Saunders, a trailing 3 is good to tie it up at 8.
10, 11 guys anyway, and he expects all his players. They practice that way. They practice very, very hard, and he expects players to be ready.
3 freshmen, I beg your pardon, and Bryce, the sophomore, as Adewale checks back in. Again, Hofstra typically only goes 8 deep, and they only have 7 of those 8 players available. Back to Fritz, attacking the rim. Nice cut to the hoop.
Yeah, that was a sign of what Fritz can do. Although he doesn't like to shoot the ball much, when he gets to the basket, he plays way above the rim.
8 minutes gone by. Hofstra ends the 6-0 Iona run. Adewale is denied. Carlos with the help defense. Thomas trapped. Fritz over the top. Finds the cutter. It's Washington. Good defense underneath by the Gales.
Yeah, Adewale did a good job closing it up in the paint.
Quigley pull up too strong. And a loose ball foul against Bryce. That foul brings us to a media timeout. In year 2, Hofstra, the preseason number 4 team in the CAA, and seems like Speedy's got them rolling.
Well, Speedy's a very good coach, and he coaches the way he played, which is all out, leave it on the floor, and let your skills speak for you. So he does a very good job and gets the most out of his players. And if you look at his guards, you know, he really does a very solid job with allowing his guards a ton of freedom.
Khalil Farmer, along with Silas Sunday checking in, the Iona transfer. And it is Farmer that knocks down a 3 just into the game. Panzo on the move, scores that over Sunday.
And that's a good sign for Panzo. He's coming out aggressive. Look for him to try to get himself open in 3 as well.
Carlos into the front court. Brown on his hip. Bouncing it for Thomas. Dubar averaging 19 a game to complement the 25 a contest from Thomas. Dubar, no. Sunday, the offensive rebound and the putback for the former Gale.
I'm sure that made Silas feel good in his former home court to come home and start to have an impact.
Spent his freshman year here in New Rochelle before transferring. Adewale is hit.
I tell you, David, Adewale is getting a ton of on-the-job training for a freshman and has really responded, doing a very, very solid job defending most of the time bigger guys than him, and certainly very crafty on the inside with the ball, but just plays so hard.
Adewale makes both. Iona to within 3. Into the front court, Hofstra, winners of 4 in a row. Carlos skips it. Good catch by Dubar. Midway through the first half. D-Stone Dubar, a pump fake. A skip to Carlos, end of the shot clock, and he knocks down the 3.
I tell you, Hofstra has 3 to 4 guys on the floor that can make threes. Iona's doing a very good job closing out, but the skip pass hurt him on that last possession, getting the ball to a wide open shooter.
Williams, pull up. Too strong in his first shot attempt. Terrell Williams Jr., the graduate transfer from Southern. Hofstra building a 6-point lead. Thomas into the paint, left it short. Battle for the rebound, Iona ball. Hofstra already with 8 offensive rebounds, but couldn't claim one there.
And Coach Claxton just said what I was thinking to his player, Thomas. I know you can score, but the big fella was wide open, a simple bounce pass, possibly a dunk. But when you're as good as Thomas is, you have that green light. So he'll get chastised one time, but after that, he'll be right back at scoring.
Quigley has returned to the lineup for Iona. Trey 2 trapped, wraparound pass to Adewale, who got bumped. The foul is against Khalil Farmer. So Farmer getting some earlier minutes to make up for the loss of Plotnikov. Iona basketball on the baseline. 8:44 remaining. Trey 2 uses the Adewale screen, fading away. Sunday the rebound.
Yeah, Trey 2 is going to really try to get on track here. Again, he can score, but he's a little off thus far to start the game.
Jaquan Carlos has to terminate the dribble against Quigley. D-Stone Dubar tries to get around Williams, and he puts it up and in.
That was a heck of a move by Dubar. He got away with a little bit of swipe of his arm, pushing the player off, but that's a good move.
Extending the lead to 8. And then the steal. Thomas steps in front of the pass and takes it coast to coast. Tyler Thomas up to 8 first half points. And that draws the Tobin head coach. And while he was known locally for his prowess at St. Thomas Aquinas at the Division II ranks, really came to fame nationally, of course, as his FDU Knights took down Purdue as a 16 seed in last year's NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Tobin's very solid coach.
Fritz, the rebound. Tyler Thomas working against Quigley. Foul is called.
Tobin right now is trying to
foul against Gordon.
Yeah, Tobin right now is going to try to find those 5 players that can give him a spark offensively, and they're going to continue to pressure but try to not give up those easy baskets.
Thomas, watched by Trey 2, dribbled it off his foot. Dubar fakes the handoff, wants to back down Bryce. Dubar fading away, off the iron and down to Saunders, who has checked back in. Iona already going 10 deep. Bryce tees it up. Rebound down to Aaron Gurin. Now it's Trey 2. That one was short. And a rebound for Fritz, number 5. .640 to go, first half. Carlos breaking down the defense, but then slid his pivot foot.
Yeah, solid defense on the inside that time by the Gales as the Hofstra guard got into the paint. They collapsed. He had no place to throw the ball and traveled.
The freshman from Apopka, Florida, Kejon Robinson checking in, wearing 0. Guards fellow freshman Jeremiah Quigley. 6:20 left. Iona in a drought. 4 minutes without a point. Aaron Gurin lets it fly. Tracked down in the corner by Thomas. The league's, and by the league's, I mean the nation's leading scorer. 3 of 8 from the floor, 8 first half points.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before Thomas gets it rolling. He's not shy.
Robinson in for Carlos, running the point. Thomas had it on the hip. This is Farmer. 5 to shoot for Hofstra. Thomas, a step back. Fritz got whacked. It's out of bounds, and it stays with Hofstra.
Yeah, the big fellow let it be known. I got hit. Threw his arms, his head, everything up in the air to make sure the officials called it.
9 offensive rebounds for Hofstra. Saunders didn't sense it, didn't adjust in time. It's a Hofstra turnover.
Yeah, out of the 9 offensive rebounds, I would think Fritz has at least 5 of them. Like I mentioned, he's a good player. And, you know, players like him with his skills, when you have good guards, you're allowed to just play hard, play aggressive, play tough, and get easy buckets.
Nearly 5 minutes without a bucket, and that continues with the block from Dubar. Hofstra has scored the last 7 in this contest to open up a 10-point lead. Dubar in and out. Aaron Gorin into the front court with 5 minutes to go first half. Quigley, low dribble. Panzo on the move. Panzo into the defense of Fritz. Kick out. A 3 is good. Boy, did Iona need that. And Dylan Saunders delivers his second triple.
Well, that shot by Saunders, was so important. A ray of hope for the Gales to be able to get untracked here. And Saunders was feeling it, so he put it up.
22-15. Hofstra on the road, trying to even up the last 4 meetings. Currently on a 5-year deal. Iona taking the first 2. Hofstra taking last year's contest on the islands. They return to Nassau County next year. Quigley off balance. Cleared by Dubar. With 4 minutes to go, first half. Farmer lets it fly off the side of the backboard. Quigley takes it on the run. A burst of speed, and Quigley has his layup come up short.
He may have got fouled there, but I don't think he was going to make the layup anyway. I tell you, I feel like we're in the park right now. Everybody's putting it up, no conscious, and basically right now, as you can see, Speedy said, let's slow this thing down for a second.
Thomas, off the rim, no. Quigley slaps the rebound. Panzo for 3. Spotted in transition by the freshman. And again, it's the
much more patient and get better shots. If you're open from 3, shoot it, make it. If not, move the ball and try to get some better shots.
Iona shooting 24% from the floor. Hofstra just marginally better at 30%. And we have a slugfest here in the first half. That 3 is good. Griffin Baruch, the redshirt sophomore from Glen Mills, Pennsylvania, just into the game, and he knocks down the 3. Panzo cannot answer, and here's Hofstra up by 7 with possession. Washington, back-to-back triples.
I guess Hofstra 30 feet away from the basket, shot it with confidence, and then his teammate knocked another one back-to-back.
Panzo, open, pure. When he is that open, almost feels automatic.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
He's really picked up his shooting the last couple of times out. Washington into the paint. The dump off Fritz. Good recovery by Saunders.
He took away a dunk from Fritz.
Trey 2, rhythm 3. Too strong. Saunders, another hustle play. Driving in, couldn't finish.
Saunders is giving the Gales a good spark off the bench. A lot of hustle and certainly making his shots when he's open.
1:35 to go in a 7-point game first half. Here in New Rochelle, skipped to Washington. And a loose ball foul. It takes a group effort to box out Jaco Fritz. And we've said it throughout, the difference and the impact that Oz Shema could make. And you could just sense it from the opening tip how Fritz has had his way. And then Sunday off the bench, 6'10" and 7 feet respectively. The rebounding battle in Hofstra's favor, 26-19.
Yeah, when Osborne Shema comes back, it's going to be a real plus for the Gales, both inside and out.
Trey 2 collects the miss into the front court. Trey 2 scoreless, 0 of 6 from the floor. Hofstra makes another good defensive play with its length. Jaquan Carlos back into the game. Sprays it to Farmer. Hofstra trying to work it inside to Fritz.
Fritz has a mismatch on the inside.
Fritz reposting. Carlos bounces it out of bounds. Good rotation by Iona, not allowing Hofstra to take advantage of the Fritz mismatch inside.
Yeah, absolutely. He had an Iona guard on him underneath the basket. And just a little too deep of a penetration. He didn't see him, but I'm sure he'll post him up again.
Joel Brown has returned to the game. Takes the feed from Trey 2. 5 of the 7 made field goals in the first half have come from beyond the arc for the Gales. Panzo for 3. Boy, he can really stroke it. His third triple of the opening half.
And I tell you, if you watch him, it's really helped him pick up his entire game. His energy is up there, and if he's open, it's going to be a problem for Hofstra.
Trey 2, the first one on the deck. Arin Gurin, a tough finish with 6 seconds to go. Iona has climbed to within 2 points at the end of the first half. And time runs out as Iona scores the final 8 points of the opening frame at UBS Arena.
Yeah, both teams have some good games coming up. But right now their focus is on trying to finish in this one here.
Trey 2, Brown, Adewale, Panzo, and Gordon. The 5 out there to start the second half. Panzo did not start, but he led Iona with 11 first half points. Trey 2 ran into good defense from Washington. Hofstra rolls out its starting 5 to begin the second half, the 8th straight game that they've used the same unit, and they've gobbled up the majority of the minutes as Jaco Fritz squeezing his way between defenders to lay it in.
Very nice set play on the other end to get Fritz the ball off of a high ball screen and a cut.
Lead is up to 4, just underway in the second half. Greg Gordon picked up 3 first half fouls and did not score.
I expect Trey 2 to try to get involved here.
Panzo just floats it up at the end of the shot clock, and it's that kind of night for Weza.
Tricky shot. Not 30 feet away, but very smooth, nothing but net.
Carlos so calm in the corner. Broke the trap, and Hofstra can set up in the front court. Tyler Thomas had 8 points on 3 of 11 shooting. Washington baseline no. Fritz lost it out of bounds. D-Stone Dubar was 1 of 8 from the floor, usually a 19-point-per-game scorer for just 2 points. Buckets were hard to come by, let's say.
Yeah, it was a tough start.
It's the holiday season, Kevin. You know, you have to be kind.
Oh, yeah. But if you're going to shoot that many threes and so many deep shots, you're going to have to start making them. Otherwise, you put your team in real bad jeopardy here.
Trey 2, a quick change of direction. Skips it to Brown. Too strong. Good box out there by Dubar.
Yeah, Dubar. Very nice rebound.
Hofstra has not trailed the entire game. Backdoor look. Last touched by Iona. Good defense from Gordon. And he's got to learn how to defend without fouling.
Well, he likes to defend. That's a good start. But he gets into foul trouble because of his physicalness. And on that one, he was lucky that he's fast enough to be able to recover on the backdoor cut. Oh, travel missed.
Washington rattled in a three after what could have been called a travel against Carlos.
Yeah, if I saw it, the official should have saw it.
Brown out to Trey 2. Wide open from deep. That spun out. Redirects to Adewale. Iona resets. Brown driving in. Panzo high arcer. No. And it's down to Dubar, who claims rebound number 8. 5-point Hofstra lead. Similar trend continuing into the second half in terms of shot efficiency. Thomas, can he get going? Look away pass underneath. Good feed to find Dubar. And Tobin Anderson calling timeout, shaking his head. After last year's victory at home, they're playing for the 4th straight year. They'll play for at least the 5th straight season next year back at Hempstead. Hofstra looking for its first win in New Rochelle since 2008. They've got a 7-point lead.
Well, this has turned out to be a very good history relative to both teams and competitiveness. It goes way back, actually. You know, even back when I played, Hofstra was very good. Welcomed me freshman year to a nice beating in Hempstead. But after that, we evened things off. So Hofstra, very good program. Iona, very good program. Both teams deserve to play each other.
You guys never forget any games, do you?
Oh, no, not at all.
Especially when maybe someone from home was on the other side?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
7-2 advantage in this half for Hofstra. Shot clock is down to 5. Carlos an open look at 3, and the rebound is down to Quigley. Saunders, Aragurin, Panzo, and Bryce. This was the group that got Iona back into it in the first half, and the foul is called against Dubar.
Dubar wasn't quite sure what happened, but he got the foul on that one.
Hofstra picked 4th in the CAA. Number 1 was the College of Charleston, the team that Iona opened up with on the road in a narrow defeat. Joe Mihalik really got the program to a great spot. They were primed to play in the NCAA tournament in 2020 before COVID eliminated that tournament. Speedy Claxton has continued the winning ways for the Pride. 2 to shoot for the Gales. Saunders, a step-back look that was partially blocked, and Hofstra has possession, leading by 7. Nearly 5 minutes gone by into the second half. Pride had a 2-point halftime lead. Carlos, extra pass. Dubar. And Fritz, at this point, is just being swarmed by any available white jersey. And perhaps on this whiteout night, someone from the stands wants to come in and help box him out.
Well, they may as well, because basically he's getting every rebound that's in his area, playing very physical, and doing a great job keeping the ball in Hofstra's hands. And Fritz is definitely someone that Iona is struggling with. And, you know, look for Coach Anderson to go to a press to take the pressure off his big guys so much to have to deal with him for too many seconds in a possession. So kudos to Fritz.
Free throws hard to come by in this one, but we're about to see 2, and they are the first 2 attempted by the Pride.
Wow. very late in the contest for the first free throws, but I guess you can say the officials are letting both teams play.
Iona 2 for 2 in the first half. D-Stone Dubar to shoot the first two for Hofstra. I mean, how do you describe this game? It's been physical, but there haven't been really any shooting fouls called.
Right.
And yet teams are struggling to score, and there's been flow, but no points.
Well, that's dangerous for both teams, because if one team can get on track, like for instance, if Thomas really starts to be his old self, that could be a dangerous situation for the Gales.
5 minutes into the second half. Trey 2 still scoreless. Quigley spots Saunders, quick release. 3 is too strong. Quigley, or Aaron Gurin, I beg your pardon. The weak side rebound, and the reverse layup is true. That ends the 7-0 Hofstra run and allows Iona to put its press on.
Nice job by Aaron Gurin to be able to get position and rebound the ball.
Washington open for 3. Good setup by Dubar.
Yeah, this is a solid 5 for Hofstra right now.
Quigley to the rim. Fritz the rejection, but it opens things up for Saunders to clean it up.
And like I mentioned, Coach Anderson said, well, if things aren't going right, let's go back to what we do best, which is put a ton of pressure on the opposing team. 3
combined possessions with made field goals. Not sure we've had many of those. 8-point game. Trey 2 with the assignment on Thomas. Saunders guarding Fritz. Down to 5 to shoot. Good defense by Panzo. Thomas, a pump fake, and off the back of the rim. Aaron Gurin the rebound. Pushing pace for the Gales. Panzo with 2 points since the break. Trey 2 all day, and his struggles continue.
Yeah, and he has to just keep shooting the ball. I mean, we know what he's capable of. Very, very dynamic three-point shooter, but today the rim is not cooperating. So, again, like Thomas, guys that can score the ball haven't really been putting it in the bucket the way they're capable of yet.
Trey 2 entering the game 40% from 3. Has struggled from the floor tonight. Dubar. And our officials will converge. Iona basketball after Ryan Corbett and Mike McCloskey talked it over.
I wonder what they said. Did you see that? I saw that. Which way?
Skipping town tonight, or we meeting at the bar?
That's right.
Panzo with a little bit of airspace. Back tap to Quigley. Saunders finds an outlet in Aaron Gurin. Pull up. That settles through. 6-point game.
Well, this small lineup for Iona is all about pressure and driving and kicking. And the last 2 possessions, they did exactly that.
Carlos nearly turned it over. Extra pass, Dubar. Open from deep, and he cans it.
Dubar's a very good player. Solid. Very strong. Can get to the basket and can make threes.
7 second-half points as he's come alive. Saunders, wide right. Down to Thomas. He is scoreless since halftime. 8 total points for the nation's leading scorer. Iona has done their part defensively. Same can be said for the Pride. Out of the reach of Dubar. And a Hofstra turnover, bringing us to another timeout. Thomas has struggled from the floor. As for Panzo, 3 of his 5 made field goals have been threes. But as you've kind of been alluding to all night, Kevin, if Thomas goes on a hot streak and gets to his average, the steal for Washington, oh, and the power slam on the move, then that really favors Hofstra down the stretch.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And, Thomas can score in bunches. And if Panzo can keep shooting the ball the way he is, Iona just has to do a good job of making sure he gets those open looks.
Hofstra has really featured this starting unit. Trey 2 on the push-off.
Trey 2 is strong, but I'm not sure he's that strong.
This was strong. I think we could agree on that.
Yeah. And this finish right here, to be young again.
When are we got to lower the hoop for you, Kevin? I know I'm at about 5 feet, but you actually have skill.
Not anymore. Let's see what Hofstra does in the set play here.
Difference of 11. The cutter, Washington denied. Trey 2 got the better of that matchup. Leads to the run out. Aranguren heading to the free throw line for the Gales.
Aranguren has done a solid job when he's come in, playing with tons of energy, and he just seems to be around the ball all the time, and that's a great move to the basket. He knew he had Fritz and another big fella chasing him down, so he went to the opposite side of the basket. Solid play.
Aranguren got the start tonight.
That means he's had some great practices.
From Venezuela, went to high school in Massachusetts. Just the third and fourth free throws shot by the Gales tonight. Hofstra going to the bench, taking out Dubar, Washington, and Fritz. Farmer, Baruch, and Sunday enter the lineup for the Pride. So just Carlos and Thomas remain from that starting unit for Hofstra. Silas Sunday stepped on the sideline.
Funny
Should be
story.
familiar with the dimensions here at Hines.
Well, yeah, funny story. While he was warming up, a couple of his former classmates were under the basket booing him, heckling him. Then he went over and gave him a hug. So that was nice. Welcome back to the Hines Center.
One of those former classmates, a walk-on supreme, James Carey. Had an extra year of eligibility, but decided to watch from the sidelines like us.
Oh, yeah.
Trey 2 draws the blocking foul with just 2 ticks left on the shot clock. So let's see if Iona could get something from their vets. Take another look at this foul drawn by Trey 2. Joel Brown scoreless, Greg Gordon scoreless. He sits with 4 fouls after picking up 3 in the first half. Trey 2 has not scored either. Quigley turns the corner. And a foul on the drive. Khalil Farmer gets charged with his second personal foul.
Yeah, the refs are calling it a little bit closer this half. I guess both coaches complained, and they're getting their wish now.
Knocked away from Panzo. 10 to shoot, Adewale. Now it's Trey 2. Trey 2 trapped. Aranguren, head on 3, splash.
Yep, there he is, that energy.
Back to 7. Still plenty of time, but Iona has failed to get into a rhythm tonight, except for at one point scoring 8 in a row. That was to end the first half. Carlos, catch and shoot. Rebound, Panzo, Iona. wasn't an opportunity to run.
Yeah, this is the scoring run that they need right here. Panzo got away with a travel there.
They got a score followed by a stop, and now a turnover.
Coach Anderson has done a good job keeping his confidence with the team, his patience, giving them a chance to try to work their way out of this.
We're on Greg Gordon watch. When does Tobin Anderson pull the trigger to try to get something out of him? Pass in the middle, Aranguren the steal, spots Quigley. The pump fake, leans in, blocked. Quigley comes away with a loose ball. Trey 2, a bit out of control, and now settles.
Wow, the freshman settled it down.
Quigley bumped. Got Farmer moving side to side. Just the third team foul against Hofstra, third against Farmer. Baruch and Sunday out.
That's a good substitution by Coach Claxton to get some more scoring back on the floor. Their offense had been stagnant, and Hofstra really needs to start to capitalize on the offensive end.
Fritz and Dubar back in, and that's D-Stone Dubar with the rebound. 7-point game, approaching 8 minutes to go. Jaquan Carlos runs the point. Skips it, Farmer. Thomas the pump fake. 4 to shoot. Farmer into the body of Quigley and swirled it in.
I'll tell you something about Thomas. For a guy who can score so much, he's very unselfish. He had a wide open shot, ball faked, and made a beautiful bounce pass to a cutting player.
Quigley from deep.
It's the young guys keeping Iona in the contest.
Thomas comes for it in the backcourt with Dubar. Dubar cuts. A trip to the free throw line when we come back. Iona trailing by 6. Where have you heard this before? Gales hanging around against the Pride. Points.
Yeah, the bench.
What would you add that's not there?
Yeah, no, you've got it all right here. The bench has done a very good job for Iona, and so have the young guys, the freshmen. They've come in, played with energy, and certainly have kept Iona around. And like we always know when we do an Iona game, if they hang around, there's the potential for something exciting to happen at the end of the game. But Hofstra's a good team. Let's see if they can hold Iona off.
They've won 4 straight. Dubar splits a pair. Tough stretch that Hofstra is in the middle of, and a win here tonight would go a long way for the Pride before they play at St. Louis, at Duke.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And a date with St. John's at UBS at the end of the month. Panzo driving in around Fritz, and Weza Panzo with 15 to lead all scorers.
Well, Hofstra did a great job taking away the 3 from him, so he decided, let me show you a little something else that I can do.
It stays with Hofstra. Greg Gordon has come back into the game. He's been saddled with foul trouble all evening. Picked up his second foul just a couple of minutes in, his third at the 7:25 mark of the first half. And Tobin Anderson just rolling with him here, trying to get any type of spark from his junior out of Chicago.
Well, they need him on the floor. Gives them another option of scoring and rebounding the ball.
Fritz tees it up from deep. Feeling right at home. The Canisius transfer drills the 3.
Wow, he put those 3 fingers up in the air, and the fourth one actually slipped. He shot it so deep he thought he was going to get 4 points, but very good shot by the big fella.
European-style 3 as well. Includes the thumb. Gordon elevates and gets that one to go. His first bucket of the game.
And that's what we just mentioned, another scoring option. Should open up things for Panzo a little bit.
Under 6 to play in a 6-point game. Hofstra has not trailed at any point tonight. Carlos breaking down the D and one.
Wow, that was special. Very nice move to the basket.
Some New York City flair with the English at the end of that drive for Jaquan Carlos.
Yeah,
played his high school ball at Thomas Jefferson.
Oh yeah, no doubt, and he's done that a lot at Jefferson. And when you're on the floor and you're the leader and you're passing everybody the ball and running the show, it feels good once in a while to be able to get to the basket and put a little spin off the backboard. Good for him.
5 points, but 6 rebounds. He does, or 6 assists, excuse me. He does lead the team in that category. And does a nice job balancing, as he's typically the 3rd double-digit scorer on average for the Pride. Back to a 9-point lead for the visitors. Gordon trying to navigate his way against Fritz. And that type of straight line downhill driver is something that Iona has lacked this game with Gordon on the bench.
Gordon seriously would not be denied getting to the basket. He was going to move whoever was in his way out of his way. He did. Now he needs to step to the free throw line and capitalize on such a good move.
Was wondering if and when Tobin Anderson would go back to Joel Brown, the transfer from Cal, entering the game for Saunders. Gordon, missing the first of 2. And now a really small ball lineup with both Adewale and Saunders out of the game.
Yeah, they caught Thomas in the paint before the shot.
Gordon will get another crack at it after missing both attempts. So this is where, in the Sacred Heart game, Iona turned it up, and they won. Point of the game against Marist, where they hit another gear, and they couldn't pull that one out. Just their 3rd home game of the season, and they once again need to dig themselves out of a late hole. 3rd time, not the charm for Gordon. And a held ball. Possession arrow, Hofstra.
And if you're the coach and it gets down to serious closeness and crunch time, as good as Gordon is, he really needs to step up and make some free throws. Otherwise, you really can't have him on the floor when it's time to shoot free throws.
5:22 left. Hits the backboard.
If Hofstra is able to break this press, Fritz will get a wide open dunk.
So it was deflected, which is why it stays with Hofstra, and they'll take a second off the game clock and 1 second off the shot clock to show the deflection timing-wise. It's just thrown into the middle of nowhere, and it's picked off by Brown. Panzo tees it up. Just grazes the iron. Gordon right along the baseline. Couldn't keep it in play, or couldn't keep it. Kind of fell out of his hands, and Hofstra scoops it up. Approaching 5 minutes to go. 54-45, the Hofstra lead. Panzo switches on to Carlos. Carlos gets a step. Dribbles it off of his foot. Here comes Iona. Quigley Lobs to Gordon, and he guides it through.
Hey, why make free throws when you can jump that high and put it in the basket so easy?
Wasn't conventional, but it counts. 7-point game. A deflection. Fritz recovers.
If I'm Thomas and I'm the leading scorer in the country, right now I'm going to show why. Let's see if he puts it on his shoulders here.
Thomas passes to Carlos. 2 to shoot. Hoisting at the end of the shot clock, but not in time.
And Coach Claxton called him over, and I'm sure he's saying exactly what I said. I'm sure he's saying, Thomas, you need to shoot the ball. But on the other end, Mr. Gordon got up in the air and put a really nice putback on an alley-oop.
Thomas has 8 points. His previous low, 13, against still undefeated Princeton in the second game of the year. Panzo to Trey 2. Needs one. Won't get it there. Gordon on the offensive glass, trying to keep it alive, and nearly picked up his 5th foul, tangling there with Carlos.
Hofstra's going to be very deliberate here to run some clock.
Carlos picks up the loose ball and bangs the 3. Another timely play by the junior out of Brooklyn. And with the way Iona has scored this 10-point lead with 3:15 to go, feels pretty sizable.
Yeah, they're going to have to make tough shots.
Offensive foul.
Wow. Coach Anderson was not happy with that.
Jasmine gets the upgrade to fiance. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I'm so happy for him. Hey, enjoy this game because after you get married, you know, a lot less TV time.
Yeah, thanks for the viewership. And if you could watch on separate devices, that would help. A 10-point lead for Hofstra.
Oh, they got a hold.
Panzo reaching in. 7th team foul against Iona. Jaco Fritz shooting 1 and 1.
So the bad news for the Gales is that they're going to have to foul and play more aggressive. The good news for them is they have 3 guys on the floor that can shoot the 3. And if they can make some and get it close, anything can happen.
Good box out there by Gordon. Quigley knocks it in. All right, 7-point game, 2:40 left.
That's one.
Should know better to totally bury Iona, especially here at the Heinz Center.
If I'm Hofstra, I'll run something and throw it inside, get back to the foul line.
Aaron Gurin, good defense on the ball against Carlos. Shot clock down to 10. Iona needs a stop. Kick out. Farmer, no. Too strong in the battle for the rebounds. Fritz and Aaron Gurin battling, and it stays with the Pride.
Yeah, Panzo was saying that Fritz went over on the Gurin's back.
Dubar banks it in. A timely bucket on a night in which he has struggled from the floor. He's got 12 points to lead all Pride scorers. We're now inside of 2 minutes to go in a 9-point game. Aaron Gurin skips it. Gordon, an open look at 3, and he sticks it. 1:37 to go.
They can get a turnover here or force a bad shot. They'll be right back in it.
1:25 to go, 2-possession game. Carlos controls the rock. Trying for a two-man game with Fritz. Panzo switches on. Carlos, the crossover, the kick out. It's Dubar. No from three. And Trey 2, a solid box out. A minute to go. Trey 2 to Gordon. Other wing off the heel. Well, Dubar's got the ball.
Yeah, they got the look that they wanted. And as I mentioned, the three ball is the equalizer here for them.
Trey 2 reaching in, and that sends Jaquan Carlos to the line. 8th team foul against Iona. It's still a 1-and-1.
Carlos has played a great game, and that Brooklyn's toughness is standing out for him. When he needed to be a scorer, he was a scorer, and he certainly was able to run the show for Hofstra, getting all the right players to basketball.
It's been 15 years since Hofstra has won in this building. Carlos at the line is short. Still just a two-possession game. Gordon drives, spins, Trey 2. Panzo looking for some space. Panzo clears it, misfires. Aranguren, the rebound, tied up by Fritz. And a foul was called on the reach-in.
Sometimes when you need threes desperately, as a shooter, you feel like you have to rush. You don't. It's better to take a good shot than have to rush and take a bad shot, because 9 times out of 10, when you're out of character, you'll miss that shot. But real good hustle by the young man here at the free throw line.
1-and-1 for Aranguren. First one is perfect. Even with a make, it's still a two-possession game with the shot clock off. Perfect trip for the freshman. 59-55, 29.2 seconds left. Dubar to trigger. It's into Carlos. Trapped in the corner. Timeout Hofstra.
Carlos might have been a good guy to foul after missing his last
line for a 1-and-1.
Yeah, the Iona pressure was very good. Carlos had nowhere to go. Looked like he stepped out of bounds actually too, but maybe not. And now he's going to have to step to the free throw line and knock him down.
Mike McCloskey, the referee, was pointing to the free throw line in which Carlos is currently standing. Difference of 6 as Carlos makes amends at the line. 24 seconds to go. Trey 2 turns the corner and is whacked by Fritz. Trey 2 shooting 2. Back in the starting lineup tonight after coming off the bench against Fairfields. Looking for his first point of the night.
A quick 2 for Trey 2 in this case was good than taking too much time off the clock to try to get a 3. So that was a good move by him.
Joel Brown checks back in for Trey 2, who's got the 4 fouls along with Gordon. Gordon remains out there, though, to guard the inbounds. Dubar, once again at 6'8", will trigger. Into Carlos. Back to Dubar. Lost his balance. Then the ball. But on the baseline, Quigley was out of play. Iona nearly got the turnover. Hofstra wants to change its personnel. Kejon Robinson, the freshman guard, checks in for Fritz. This was awfully close to a turnover.
Another solid effort by Nagorian.
Timeout taken, Hofstra.
Or foul.
Because it was not after a made basket, Dubar had to stay put. Carlos breaks the pressure, feeds it front court for Robinson, and the freshman is fouled. So Kejon Robinson, who just checked in to add another ball handler to the lineup, will get a couple of free throws as Hofstra is in the double bonus.
Well, they put him in specifically for this, but it's not easy when you've been sitting for a long time to have to come on the floor and make shots, but I'm sure he's up for the task.
First free throw attempt of the night is perfect.
He said, "Shut up, Mr. Announcer. I'm here for a reason."
Players have a pretty strong propensity of doing that to us.
Oh, yeah.
One of two. Announcer's revenge. 7 seconds to go. Trey 2, out of control. Carlos takes it away, and that will do it. Kick ahead to Dubar, and his dunk attempt is after the horn. Hofstra survives 62-57.